All right, let's talk about a home project that can be a total game changer, installing a sewer ejector pump. If you've ever dreamed about adding a bathroom or laundry room in your basement but thought it was impossible, well, this explainer is definitely for you. You know the dream, right? That awesome finished basement with a guest suite, or maybe finally getting that noisy washer and dryer out of the main living space. It seems like the perfect upgrade. But then you run into this one tiny little problem, a fundamental law of the universe that just gets in the way. See, your home's main sewer line is almost always higher than your basement floor, and well, we all know which way waste flows. And it isn't uphill. So, here's our game plan. First, we're going to really nail down what this below-grade problem is all about. Then, we'll introduce the solution to that problem, the ejector pump. After that, we'll dig into the part you're all waiting for, the cost. And finally, we'll wrap up with a clear action plan so you can budget for this thing like a total pro. Okay, let's kick things off with a big head-scratcher. Why can't you just, run some pipes from the basement to the main sewer line like you do with every other toilet in the house? It all comes down to this idea of being below grade. And here's the official definition, which really says it all. If it's in the basement, a toilet, a sink, you name it, it's below grade. And that means its wastewater is literally stuck. It has nowhere to go, unless, of course, you can give it a little boost. Which brings us to the hero of our story. This is the piece of machinery that makes all those basement renovation dreams possible. Its job sounds pretty simple, but it's absolutely vital. It sits in a sealed basin, collects all the wastewater from your basement fixtures, and once it's full, whoosh, it powerfully kicks on and pumps everything up and out to the main drain line. That's honestly the best way to think about it. It's like a little elevator. It just waits for the wastewater to collect, and then it gives it a ride up to the main level so it can leave your house properly. Simple, but it perfectly explains what's going on under your basement floor. Okay, so we get what it is, and we get why we need it. But let's be real. The big question on everyone's mind is, how much is this going to set me back? So let's break down the costs. The final bill isn't just about the pump you buy at the store. Oh no. It's a mix of the hardware, the skilled labor, and a whole bunch of things specific to your house. That's why the price can swing wildly, from maybe $1,500 all the way up to $5,000 or even more. So what causes that massive range? Just look at all the different things that factor in here. It's not just buying the pump. You've got labor costs, you've got all the new pipes you're going to need, special electrical work, and then you have the stuff people forget, like permits and cleaning up the mess afterwards. Every single one of these items can move the final price up or down. We can basically sort all those factors into two big buckets. On one side, you have the hardware itself, the type of pump, the brand, any cool add-ons like a battery backup. But on the other side, and this is often the bigger piece of the puzzle, you have labor and your site conditions. This covers everything from what plumbers charge in your area to whether they have to bring in a jackhammer and bust up your concrete floor. And this right here shows you just how big a difference that makes. If you're just swapping out an old pump that died, it's a much simpler job. You're probably looking at that lower end of the cost range. But if this is a brand new installation, now you're talking about a whole different beast. They're cutting concrete, running totally new plumbing and electrical lines, and that's when the costs can really start to climb up into that $4,000 or $5,000 territory. And here's a cost people almost always forget to budget for. For most of us, this is not a weekend DIY project. You're likely going to need a permit from your city, and the work has to be inspected to make sure it's safe and up to code. Your plumber will handle the paperwork, of course, but those fees are going to show up on your final invoice. So listen up, because this is probably the most crucial piece of advice. Always, and I mean always, plan for the unexpected. Having a contingency fund of 10 to 20% isn't just a nice idea, it's an absolute must. You never ever know what they're going to find once they start cutting into a wall or digging into your foundation. All right, we've dissected the costs. Now, let's switch gears and talk about how you can take charge of this whole process to make sure you're spending your money wisely. This is your action plan. This right here is the golden rule, straight from the experts. Don't just call one person. Don't take a number scribbled on the back of a business card. Get multiple, written, detailed estimates. This way, you can actually compare apples to apples and see exactly what each company is charging you for. So here it is, your smart buyer's checklist. Step 1, get at least 3 written quotes. Step 2, ask a ton of questions. What's included? What's not? Does this price cover cleanup? Step 3, have that contingency fund ready to go. And finally, step 4, before you let anyone start work, check their license, their insurance, and ask for references. Do your homework. Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to this. The more you understand about the project, the better you'll be at asking the right questions, spotting a fair quote, and hiring a true professional. Being informed is your absolute best tool. So I'll just leave you with this one last thing to think about. An ejector pump is not just some random appliance. It's a critical part of your home's plumbing system. It has to work every single time. So as you're looking at those quotes, just ask yourself, when it's something this important, what's the real cost of cutting corners?